Hello children, this is your English teacher. Welcome to Panorama 5, Lesson 6, Part 1. We're going to read a story today. It's a true story. It's something that really happened. This story is about a very brave young lady. She was just 22. She was very strong and very brave. She fought terrorists. She saved many people on a flight. But sadly, she had to give up her life. She had to sacrifice her life because she was doing her duty. So who is this person? Have you heard any incident about a flight attendant? Who is a flight attendant? Where have you seen a flight attendant? You would have seen a flight attendant in an aeroplane, right? So flight attendants are those, they could be women or men who take care of us, who serve us, who look after our every needs. If you're traveling for a long time, if you're going from India to America, for example, you will be sitting in the plane for many hours. So every now and then, these flight attendants come, ask you if you are okay, give you food, give you water, give you something to drink. They give you blankets that you can cover yourself because it can be very cold. They really take care of you. So this story, when I say story, it's not a fiction. It really happened many years ago. And this story is about this young lady called Neerja Bhanot. Neerja Bhanot, that's the name of the lesson. And that's also what the lesson is about. It's about the bravery of this young girl who had to fight terrorists. Have you heard of the word terrorists? What is terror? What is terror? Terror is something that your heart is filled with a lot of fear. It's like suddenly there is a robber in front of you taking a knife to hit you or something like that. It's terror. Terror is when you are really frightened. So someone who terrorizes you is a terrorist. You can feel afraid. You are very frightened. But when you feel terror, it's like watching a big tsunami coming or watching an earthquake, or you're in the midst of an earthquake, or there's a robber there. Your life is in danger. Your life is in danger. So that is the situation when you feel terror. You're extremely afraid. And people who make you feel terror are terrorists. So let's start the story. Let's read the story. You can open the story. It's in your book on page 53. And as usual, I'm going to show you the lesson. Just give me a little time to click here and there. I have to do 4 or 5 clicks to bring you the page, and here it is. Neerja Bhanot. Neerja Bhanot. She was a flight attendant. In fact, she was a purser, right? Her rank, her position in among the flight attendants, she was a purser. A purser means someone who's in charge of everyone, like a leader of all the flight attendants. We use the word flight attendant these days. Earlier, we used to say air hostess. Hostess is always women. Hostess. Post hostess. But you have even men who do that job, right? So there are many jobs which both men and women do. Teacher, a pilot, a doctor, a dentist. So a doctor, a dentist, a teacher, they can be a male or a female. They can be men or women. So we use the word flight attendants. When you say flight attendant, Who is an attendant? Someone who attends to you. Someone who attends to you. Someone who takes care of you. So she was a flight attendant and she was a purser. You'll come across the word in the lesson, meaning she was the leader of the flight attendants. So she had to take care. She was responsible for everyone in the plane, in the cabin, in the main cabin. She was responsible for the flight crew. She was also for all the cabin crew and also for all the passengers. So, you know, in a plane, you have mainly two parts, the cockpit in the front and the cabin area. Who sits in the cockpit? The pilot, the co-pilot, or the first, now they are called first officers, flight engineer. There's also an engineer who sits there. And you have the rest of the plane, which is the cabin. You have the flight attendants who sit in the cabin and they take care of you. So Neerja Bhanot was responsible for all the flight attendants and for all the